Part of what makes Shigurui so terrifying is its usage of violence. Over the years, I've become so desensitized by violence in media, I didn't think it could ever affect me again. After watching Shigurui, I was left completely blown away by its realistic depictions of violence. I don't think that this anime has all this bloodshed in it for the sake of shock value, but it does so to depict how pointless and horrifying it is. At the end of the story, Fujiki and Iriko have both lost everything important to them. In their pursuit to becoming samurai, they lose themselves and everything that they hold dear. Even after Fujiki wins his final match with Iriko, it's revealed that Mie has killed herself. After everything Fujiki did to protect her and fight his way to marry her is rendered completely pointless. When Shigurui uses violence, it doesn't usually focus on the characters looking cool during the act. It more so focuses on the shock and horror of its victims. When these scenes occur, I'm not left with a sense of satisfaction, but a creeping feeling of despair in my gut. One example of this is in Ushimata's rampage after Fujiki and Iriko's first match with each other, slaughtering dozens of soldiers and helpless civilians. One of his victims includes a Buddhist monk who we see get demolished by Ushimata. What would be the point of showcasing this act other than to get the reader to see how consumed with power Ushimata has become? Most of the characters within the story have been completely consumed with their lust for power. Many of the Kogan members you could argue aren't really people, but complete monsters. They will do anything for the sake of their dojo's reputation. Nowhere is this shown better than the head of Kogan himself, Iwamoto. He's often shown in a demented state, which is probably due to age, but it's hard to argue he's sane even when he comes back to his senses. He doesn't care one bit for Mie or even his own pupils, it seems. As Mie put it, they're nothing but puppets. Iwamoto doesn't really care for Mie as his daughter, but wants to preserve her for a vessel for the future successor. Even when he steps in to fight Seiken instead of letting Fujiki handle it, it was probably just to keep a successor. I would argue all of the samurai in some form or fashion are puppets, even Iwamoto. In the first episode, one of the characters has a line that states that samurai don't really have a choice. The samurai throughout the show are forced to submit to a strict social hierarchy. Even though a lot of these samurai have insane level of strength, they ultimately have to perform for their higher-ups. All of the Kogan members are fairly low samurai regardless of the strength that they display. Take Iwamoto for example. He was born with a 6th finger, which he's forced to hide, and this causes him to never rise the rank working for the shogun. He literally cannot rise the ranks in the hierarchy. If we look at our two main characters, Fujiki and Iriko, they both interact with the hierarchy in different ways. Iriko was quite literally born as the lowest class in society. Despite this, he has constantly tried to separate himself from the fixed social structures. He often bucks social norms and refused to take orders from Iwamoto to rape Mie. One of the most fascinating elements of his character is his disdain for the samurai due to how they often treat those beneath them. However, he will often murder and be unfaithful to others. He's hypocritical in that regard, but he does not look down on others regardless of their social class. Fujiki, on the other hand, grew up in a lowly position and even got bullied as a child for being different. However, once Iwamoto takes him away, it's only natural that Fujiki would feel some type of loyalty towards him. In that sense, he's more of a traditional samurai. He's fairly content with being a low-level samurai and protecting his fellow Kogan pupils. It isn't until Iriko beats him in a match that sends him into an obsession with power and revenge against him. A lot of the most powerful characters in the show have some sort of abnormal aspects to them or are low class. For these reasons, they're unable to climb higher in the hierarchy for themselves. What we're left with is a bunch of frustrated and power-hungry people who are being clawed away at by their own ambitions due to a society that created and also failed them. If you would like to support me, I have a Redbubble link down in the description and bio. Also, I have social media pages on Instagram, Twitter, DeviantArt, Kara, and much more. Thanks for watching.